Hello, welcome to another episode for the High Achieving Female Podcast. My name is Sarah Benkin-Fishy. I am your host, and I am so excited about this episode today. You are going to meet the one, the only fashion guru, Kym Gold. She is the co-founder of True Religion Jeans. She is also the founder of Style Union Home. Oh my goodness, we're talking about all things denim, and you're going to learn how she made denim sexy. I cannot wait for you to listen to this episode. It's going to be amazing. Take it away. Welcome to the High Achieving Female Podcast, powered by Know, where we believe high achieving female leaders deserve to be known. Here, you're going to get the tips, tools, and inspiration you need to network, grow, scale, and balance your business, career, and life. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited for today. I have the one, the only Kym Gold on this episode of the High Achieving Podcast. Welcome, Kym. How are you today?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for having me.
You know, this has been a long time coming. I have to tell you, I've been so excited about our little conversation, our interview, and I cannot wait to share everything about you with our amazing listeners. So for those of you who are just catching up right now, Kym Gold is the co-founder and designer for True Religion Jeans. Anybody ever buy True Religion? I know I had a few pairs in my closet. She's also the founder of Style Union Home. She is a grandma that goes by the name of Goldie. She's a working mom, 3 grown boys, and of course, like a fashion guru. So Kym, let's just jump right in. Are you ready?
Absolutely. Thank you. Yes.
Talk to me a little bit about fashion. So I know you are, you're a huge passion lover of fashion, all things fashion. We'll get into Style Union Home in just a few minutes. You even call that fashion for the home. Talk to me. Have you always loved fashion, and where does it come from?
Anything aesthetically pleasing has been always my passion. And clothing, I think being raised in Malibu, I was always a denim girl and always wanted to ultimately make that into fashion. So that's where that's True Religion started. But I think for me, fashion is the first thing that people see when they see you. And it's a representation, it can be for me, a representation of how you want people to see you, on any given day. It could be business, it could be casual, it could be, a wedding or date night. So it really is a representation of what it is you're doing during that day and how you want people to see you.
Absolutely. It's the ultimate first impression. I love this.
Yes.
Love this. Talk to me a little bit about your personal style, and has that evolved over time?
Oh, my personal style, people would say I have it's very specific. It's eclectic, but I would say it's disheveled sexy.
It's disheveled sexy.
Yes.
I love it.
And I've used that word because one of my kids is in fashion, and he uses it now because it's put together, but it's not to the point where you're walking out of a hair salon.
Yeah, it's like not buttoned up, right?
It's
like you're not stiff
at all. But
I love it.
Together, and it's specific and intentional. But it's you can have messy hair and still look really cute with a really great, just lipstick.
I love that.
So it's disheveled sexy.
Perfect. Okay. I'm going with this term. Tell me, what's one thing that you do not ever leave home without putting on, wearing, makeup, hair, accessory? What's the one thing that you always like? It's your item.
Number one is sunscreen.
Okay. Good to know. Sunscreen, ladies, you hear that?
I have to wear glasses, eyeglasses, because I can't see without them. So I have chosen to make them my fashion statement, right?
Oh, I love this.
I leave home with my whatever outfit I'm wearing. Again, my glasses are intentional. and they turn into sunglasses and jewelry. So something that is something that my mom has given me, or something that is vintage or new, and my watch.
Your watch. Okay. I love this. So ladies, you heard that first from Kym. Do not leave home without your sunscreen. That's so, so, so important. And maybe like pick a little staple feature, something. I love the watch. So many ladies have a watch, or the glasses. I see that you have a beautiful
And a
yep,
scarf, always wear a scarf.
scarf,
But I
scarves.
also want to mention lip gloss, and there's so many different things. I'm a blazer girl, but um, I mean, those personal things like lip gloss, or whatever you're wearing. But I think it's always important throughout. You never know what's going to happen in a day. You don't know what
Mm.
meeting you're going to have, so always be prepared.
I love this. And you told me, and all of us actually, right when we first started and we hit record, that you've always been a denim girl.
Always been a denim
Always
girl.
been a denim girl. I love that. Talk to me a little bit about the history of True Religion, how you co-founded this. What were those elements that you had in mind as a denim girl?
So, it's interesting growing up in Malibu, and denim was always like considered a casual Friday. You would think back when people would, have to dress up for work, but now
That's
it was
right.
casual Friday,
Yeah.
Friday. And I thought, how do I make denim sexy, right? Date night. How do I change that into something that becomes fashion? And so I made a really sexy denim. I created, well, we worked with a company called DuPont that actually made fashion stretch. So it was used to be jeggings. Remember, it was like leggings, but
Mm-hmm.
now they called it. It was more of a comfort stretch, but enough stretch so you felt comfortable, but they were sexy, but they didn't look like a jegging, at the time.
Yep.
So I think that the stretch denim became a really sexy staple for really date night, going out with the girls. And that's really where that started. I actually started to make denim for more curvier girls, the J-Los and the Beyoncés of the world, and the girls that really, because skinny girls really can wear anything. I mean, it's kind of,
Right.
but curvy girls, there was, an untapped demographic that I wanted to jump into. Being a curvy girl at the time myself, there just wasn't anything out there. And so I wanted that stretch to be comfort and give the girl any shape a fashion denim.
Would you say that is the one or primary thing that led to such success with True Religion? Is it that it was for everyone and it looked sexy, and like the curvy girls, the skinny girls, the athletic girls, every girl could wear these jeans?
Oh, it's exactly, that's exactly what it was. I mean, the jean actually was very technical, where it was lower in front, higher in back, uh, down
Mm.
to the knee opening, the leg opening, the pockets, the way they were situated. So whatever body shape, it made you look, the front seams were even narrowed. So whatever body shape you were, it made you look the best that you could look. So I think for me, again, looking into, as a business person, there was a niche for a demographic of women that was underserved.
I
So I
love
just,
this.
yeah, it's a huge part of business where I think people should look into a niche market that can expand into a bigger market, if you will.
I love this. I love this so much. So, was this your very first endeavor as a designer?
Oh my goodness, no.
I had to ask that. I
No,
had a feeling it wasn't.
I had like 4 businesses prior to True Religion brand jeans. I did work, I ran the sportswear division for Liz Claiborne when the company was called Laundry by Shelley Siegel. There was a store called, chain of stores called Rampage.
Mhm.
I worked for Rampage, but I had quite a few companies before that, Bobacool, Belladol, a kids line. And this, people don't even know this, but I mean, it was like, I've had so many companies prior to True Religion. It was True Religion just happens to be, it's kind of like a movie where you're an actor, but then you get this box office hit,
Yep.
what I mean? But you've always been doing this. So that was basically what happened.
I
True
love to
Religion. Yeah.
I love to say this. There's no such thing as an overnight success. They see you, they meet you, and then you're like all the rage. And they think, wow, she's so amazing. And this just, no, it's not this just, right? You've been beating the streets and working so hard, countless hours. I think every founder, entrepreneur kind of feels this. Like, just because I'm here today doesn't mean I wasn't here like ages ago, right? Working at this craft, perfecting it.
Oh, I mean, I was $250,000 in debt when I started True Religion with 3 children.
Wow.
Okay. People don't realize, because it was maybe a long time ago, we sold the company for close to $1 billion, but the road with 3 little boys, and going to trade shows and pounding on doors and trying to find the right showroom and trying to find the right trade show to have people come to your booth. I mean, it was like to be in debt with 3 kids, putting everything on the line was, for me, really scary. And nothing that
Absolutely.
scares me, but when you have 3 children and you really have a dream, I say to anybody, if you have a dream, there shouldn't be anything stopping you. You've got to do it. So you can't do woulda, shoulda, coulda. I'm not a woulda, shoulda, coulda kind of girl.
Absolutely. So going back to those early days, what kept you going?
Passion. And I say that in whatever podcast or anybody who ever asks me, if you don't have the passion for this, then quite honestly, I don't know why you would do this, because it isn't something that you can turn off when you go home. It's a 24/7 perspective on how do I get there.
For sure. And I would say a lot of our listeners, I would say all of our listeners are ambitious. And a lot of our listeners are sort of in that grind time right now, like right now.
Oh, yeah.
And for someone like you, who is such a staple figure in the fashion community, but also who's kind of been through it, right? Like, what it's like to dig in and to just get as gritty as it takes, right? And to do that as a mom with 3 kids and boys who are looking to you to provide for them, I can only imagine what it was like back then. Can you share a little bit more about, or maybe share a story about something that was very pivotal that you remember from back in those days, the old days?
It's so funny. I remember there was a store called Fred Siegel's, which it was an iconic store to be in. And I had my third, and I would have him on my hip and bring, I started everything with 13, and I brought 13 jeans, True Religions, to the store. And I said, and I brought extras to the sales girls. So when you actually, which it doesn't happen anymore. I mean, everything is social media, but when I would go to the stores, I would have at least one kid with me,
Yeah.
and I would talk to the salespeople, and that's a lost art now. Everything is sold online. And I think if you are going to do any sort of brick and mortar, get to know the salespeople, and connect with your customers or your retailers. And think of retailers or online sales, your e-commerce, more as partners.
Right.
Customer service is probably one of the most important parts of a business. It'll set you apart. Like, if something doesn't fit, you can return it easily. There's no issues. And I know this because I'm an online shopper, and there's only certain stores that I will buy online, certain things that I'll buy online, knowing that I could pack it up, zip it up, ship it, and get a refund literally within 4 to 5 days.
Oh, I love that. Got to make it easy for them. That's what it's all about. It's about them and not us.
100%. And I think that and because I started when there was no e-commerce, there was no social media, I know that now, and I've studied and I've done a deep dive in the difference of how I had to do it to how I have it now, and I practice what I was able to do back then to connect what's happening in the world today.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So how long were you working at or with True Religion before it was picked up for the very first time? How many years, or how long had you been kind of beating the streets before it was really picked up by some of these retailers?
What's interesting about it was timing. So it was pretty quick. Like, it was a year.
Oh, that's great.
And I was taking jeans and giving them to friends and giving them to stylists at the time, because I don't know if there's like stylists who actually give their stuff to celebrities at the time. So
Right.
I think that when it was mentioned in a Fergie, what is that? Uh, a couple songs. There was like
Yep.
Fergie and Sure, and once it
Yep.
got on there, it went rampant. I mean, so I think that when you have that almost guerrilla marketing where you're giving it to people and it's going to different celebrities, I say it was a year that it went quickly because we were so connected at the time with people, um, that it happened really fast.
So, I mean, and you really, I mean, if we go back to those days, right? This is before like influencers were really out there and the social media and components and all of that. But you were gifting essentially. Like, so you were gifting and getting them into the hands of the right people. So the right people would wear them and hopefully be picked up or snapped a shot or, something where they would love them so much. It would tell their friends. And it was a lot, like you said, that old school guerrilla marketing, which so many brands have come to love today, but they're just doing it through influencer marketing and through social media, right?
Right. I mean, the thing about influencer marketing, which is interesting to me, is it's how do I explain this? There's so many influencers and there's so many paid influencers
Right.
that I don't know, even with like what Bethany Frankel's doing now, she's not getting paid to talk about, but she's an influencer about
Mm-hmm.
what makeup from, CVS to Chanel. I mean, who do you believe? So if
Right.
influencer is getting paid for something, what makes it better or than this brand than the other brand? Why is it being sponsored? So for me, I nothing against influencers. It's a fantastic way of learning about things, but what's real and what's not.
Absolutely. And I totally get that. There is a lot of integrity kind of questioning that's sort of happening behind the scenes. And for the everyday user who maybe is looking at their 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 icon, right? Their style icon is promoting this, but is it really a value? I'm
I
so
mean, I
glad you
think
brought that up.
if a celebrity says this is really unpaid, I just love this beauty product.
Yeah.
It worked for me. I think it's fantastic. I'm not an influencer, but I'm somebody like, a model Paulina who's aging, and she's in my demographic of women who are aging. And she said, I'm not getting paid for this.
Right. Hashtag not an ad.
I'm,
Mhm.
this is not an ad. I'm not sponsored. There's some sort of integrity and truthfulness behind that. And that's where I'm trying to figure out, to read between the lines of like my brand, everything. Now what I'm doing is handmade.
Right.
what I did with True Religion was made in LA. Everything I'm doing now is made in LA. I mean, people can say whatever they want. I just want to know the truth. I
That's right.
want to know the what the brand messaging is, what the mission is,
Story.
story, who's behind it,
Yep.
why they're doing it. Yeah.
And I think that goes back to people wanting to buy from others that they know, like, and trust, right? And what I'm hearing you say is that the story behind it, the mission and the passion and the love and the heart behind what you are building and crafting, whether it's you, Kym, or it's, Karen or Paula or whoever it is, like, we need to hone in on that first and foremost. What do you say to the e-com brand, right? Maybe not fashion specific, but even just in general, these e-com brands who might be listening, these founders, what is the one piece of advice that you would give to them in getting their product into the hands of buyers? What's the one thing? Because you've been around before and you're around now. What do they do? What's your best
I
suggestion?
think trade shows are still a huge part of the human contact, human discussion, the feel of whether it's clothing, whether it's ceramics, whether it could be anything. But I think trade shows are, I have found even in this business, and I've been doing trade shows for over 30 years, has made a difference. I mean, I'm in over 200 stores within 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because of trade shows.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about how the acquisition or the sale of True Religion happened, and then how you and what you're doing now, because I want to share with everybody all the great things that you're doing now. So,
Well, it's interesting about the acquisition and the buyout of True Religion. What we had, I mean, there would have been so many people that were coming and wanting to invest. I mean, it was a public company, so it was a really arduous and laborious process. But after that, I didn't want to be in fashion anymore. I mean, I did do fashion after that. I had a company called Bobble Cool. I did HSN. But I started building homes.
oh,
Yeah, I started building homes because, again, it's a whole nother medium, but it's the same to me.
yep, yep.
And I think that when you build homes and then you get them staged was a part of the process of how do you stage a home so it goes with the style, but you're having somebody else who does that for a living. So I said, I want to learn how to do ceramics. I want to learn how to make things for my own homes. And that's how it started.
I love that. You went from denim to home builder to accessory line, home
Yeah, to
accessory
a
line, right?
massive, and it's interesting. We've done $1 million in 2 years in being a business. Started at the beginning of um, the pandemic. And I think I said earlier in the podcast, timing. I mean, you could be really smart in business and you could be a real entrepreneur. But I think that people don't think of timing as a huge part of what it is that they're trying to do. So if you have passion and you have knowledge and you pick a niche market and you pick the right timing.
Mm-hmm.
So leave home with that.
I love that. I love this. So talk to me about the ceramics world. How? Why? Why?
Again, I think it's just I didn't want to go back into clothing, but I wanted to go into fashion. And because I was building homes, it was the perfect fit. And now we have, again, we're over 200 stores, Nordstrom's being one of our bigger box stores, but we do hotels, restaurants, and ceramics for me is just a different medium. It's fashion for the home.
Mhm.
And manufacturing is the same. You just find your artisans or your manufacturers, which
Mhm.
I have, and I'm providing jobs too for artisans and
I love
ceramicists.
this.
Um, it's so much fun.
I love this. So the company is called Style Union Home. How do they find you? How do they buy? How do they learn more? You said you're in so many stores in Nordstrom. They can buy direct online, I'm assuming. So
Yeah, we're in actually over
styleunionhome.com.
200 stores across the country, but dot styleunionhome.com. And we're on Instagram. So that's where we're at. We're like everybody else. We're on Instagram and we have an and we're on, we have our own website. So
I think what's been really, really interesting to look at your trajectory and your journey is, and I think you actually just spelled it out so clearly. You're doing the same thing. It's just in a different way. When we go through life and we're able to pick up experiences or tap into something that works really, really, really well, a lot of those skills and a lot of those things are transferable and applicable in different ways, right?
100%. I said it, and I'm not actually doing it in a different way. I'm just doing a different medium.
That's
Like
it.
I produce documentaries, I build homes, and I run my home like a business. I mean, so if you know your business, if you're an entrepreneur, that's it. It's very basic. You could build anything as long as you know your business.
I love that. What do you say to those people who are a little nervous to leap? I always tell everyone that entrepreneurship is really about taking risks, but it's calculated risks, right? Like we're not just going to jump off the bridge with no parachute. Like we,
It's so funny. My EVP of sales, Stephanie, said to me the other day, she's not a risk taker. I'm a risk taker, but it's calculated. It's exactly, you hit the nail on the head. I'm a huge risk taker, but I know what I'm risking.
that's right. And you've done your research.
Oh yeah, the research, being, I am very much on top of all the basic, my costs. I do weekly, okay, weekly with my bookkeeper, what's coming in, what's going out, what my overhead is, what my margins are. I think once you know your business and at the very basics of business, and
Yeah.
you stay on top of it and you follow that and oh shit, I spent too much over here.
Yeah.
I've got to spend less over here. I know my bottom line. You have to be very strategic, precise, and on top of your business.
100%. I couldn't agree with you more. I love that you said that. So many people launch their businesses out of passion and then they forget the business foundational principles. Know your numbers. I love that you said that, especially from you, who is this fashion goddess working in such a creative space. You know your numbers. You have to know your numbers, no matter how much you hate it. No matter how much it bores you.
Listen, even as much as you hate it, I mean, I have, I'm in fashion, but I have a business degree. And the most important thing to me is that people think, I say passion because to be an entrepreneur, that's what you need, but you have to know your business, people.
That's
Come
right.
on, know your business.
That's right. Well, who do you love right now? What are you following? What's your favorite brand, must-haves? Tell me all of that from your keen fashion sense.
Well, I love betting.
Bedding,
I love
yes.
betting. It's part of the fashion. You spend more time in your bed probably than you do working. So everything I do is what I'm doing in my home now, from furniture. So it's Parachute brand. We actually have a huge partnership with them. I love just pillows
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
for the home. I love furniture. Um, and I love to change things up on my furniture, so I actually love hardware. So it's like,
I
for
love,
like, so if you buy something, you buy a cabinet and you want
yeah,
to switch it out, I love to keep the piece, maybe restain it but change the knobs. I
same.
just think it's really fun to do that. See, so I change out pillows and reupholster, and I upcycle most of my things.
I love this. It's all about the accessories, right?
Oh,
And
always, it's always been about the accessories.
always,
Yeah.
always. That's so
Yeah.
fun. Kym, if someone wanted to get in touch or learn a little bit more about you, how do they find out about you? Where do they find you? You're on the Instagram, you're on the LinkedIn, you're
Oh, yes, LinkedIn, Instagram, my personal Instagram, Style Union Home Instagram. People DM me all the time. I try to get back as much as possible. I try to answer emails as much as possible. I'm at Kym@styleunionhome.com. It's with a Y, Kym, and I do try to answer and mentor as much as I can. I hope that people don't get upset if I can't answer all the time, but I am really busy.
but you know what? You're the one that's back there answering those. And then that speaks volumes of you and who you are. And as I told you before we hit record, I'm based here in Phoenix. When you're back in Phoenix, we want to see you and we want to get you in front of our Know Women and would love to continue keeping this conversation going. Thank you so much for being on today. And ladies, you heard it first. It's all about the bedding and the sexy denim.
Yes.
Thanks, Kym, and we will talk to you all soon. Thank you for joining us for this episode of the High Achieving Female Podcast, powered by Know, where we believe it's time for high-achieving women like you to be seen, heard, and recognized. Until next time, remember, you deserve to be known.